cosmic origins. Located high in the Andes mountain range, the 66 antennas that make up the Atacama Large Millimeter Submillimeter Array, ALMA, are an imposing sight. Under one sky, more than 20 countries embark upon a scientific endeavor that can only be realized through collaboration. North America, Europe, East Asia, and Chile work together to answer humankind's fundamental questions. Northern Chile was chosen as the site for ALMA because the Atacama Desert is the driest in the world. Its atmosphere, almost devoid of water vapor, enables detection of some of the faintest signals from the universe. Over 16,500 feet above sea level and covering distances of up to 10 miles of the Chajnantor Plateau, the ALMA antennas work as a single large telescope. A supercomputer combines and synchronizes all of their signals in real time. Thanks to this engineering and scientific feat, we're learning about the cold universe, the secrets of planet formation, and the chemical elements that constitute the building blocks of life. Professionals from around the world work for ALMA, pushing the limits of knowledge every day. In Chile, about 50 staff members are based in Santiago, while another 200 work in shifts at the Operations Support Facility close to the town of San Pedro de Atacama. Most of the staff works in the offices, laboratories, and antenna control room of this facility at an altitude of 9,500 feet. Others ascend to the Chajnantor Plateau at 16,500 feet to maintain and relocate the antennas, among other tasks. Strict safety protocols are crucial under these conditions. Thanks to leisure and residential facilities, staff can lead a healthy lifestyle, playing sports and games, watching movies, enjoying nutritious meals, and resting in comfort. ALMA plays a key role in global astronomical efforts. Along with other radio telescopes, it allowed the first image of a black hole to be captured. Without ALMA, that goal would have been unattainable. The Chilean astronomical community actively participates in ALMA research and discoveries, using its 10% of observing time. The radio telescope also contributes to workforce development and supports national and regional scientific, technological, and outreach projects. An example of the latter are the thousands of visitors who tour the facilities each year. ALMA respects the local Licanantay or Atacameño indigenous culture, supporting educational and other projects in the town of Toconao and San Pedro de Atacama, preserving archaeological heritage sites, and protecting the unique flora and fauna of the region, to name a few initiatives. Mirroring the antennas that work in unison with one goal, under the same sky, the international collaboration that ALMA embodies continues the search of our cosmic origins.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Thais Mandiola. I'm a visitor coordinator at the Observatory. Thank you for joining us today. We will have actually a very special guest who is part of the education and public outreach team. And today he will tell us about the public relations, especially with the local communities. Before beginning, it's important to clarify that at this moment, and for a year and a half now, no visits to the observatories are being done because of the pandemic. And all ALMA operations are carried out in the territory that has been concessioned by the Chilean government in the Atacama Desert, one of the driest in the world. Though the landscape is very extreme, there are communities that have lived there for a long time. The Atacameños, or Licanantay, was shown in the video too. So this culture had bred llamas and alpacas for hundreds of years, still maintaining this tradition, together with knitting and making some jewelry. Currently, they are the third indigenous community in Chile. Relations with the community are a key part of ALMA presence in Chile. So much that the ALMA Observatory has celebrated a ritual for Mother Earth, or Pachamama, for the inauguration of ALMA, okay, in Chagnator Plateau, before really the inauguration. And the construction also begins with the observatory staff. This was all a gathering that was made for the local communities with the ALMA staff and celebrating the territory. To go more into this subject, let me introduce you to Danilo Vidal. He's a public relations officer. How are you, Danilo? Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much, Thais. I'm doing okay, thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, it will be very interesting to hear about what you do, and actually getting into that. It's interesting to know your journey, how you got to ALMA, and what is actually the duties of a public relations officer that you can tell us about.
Well, first of all, my name is Danilo Vidal. The public relations officer. Actually, I related more with the local communities relations at the observatory. Although I'm original from Santiago, I came to San Pedro de Atacama on a visit of like 20 years ago. The trip was meant to last 10 days, but I never returned it. I never left. Actually, I just stayed. This place take me by surprise. I never imagined that I will fall in love on a place like to the point to transform it into my home. The thing is, today I have everything here, like home, partner, friends, kids, pets, everything. And for many years I work on tourism, like mountain climbing and different activities. And in 2015, the possibility to work on ALMA opened up, and well, I pursued this option until I got it, which has been in many ways the best decision I ever made in my life. For several years, I served as a visitor coordinator. Actually, we work together for many years, and then in 2019. I took the challenge of being in charge of the community relations. It's been a fascinating job, both personally and professionally. Here at ALMA Observatory, we understand the importance of this site. In the site, I mean where we are. Both of its cultural and natural heritage. Concerning the latter, ALMA has committed to protecting this territory while under its care, and return it as close as possible to the original state. To fulfill this promise, among other things, for example, I can talk about water consumption, which is, by the way, it's brought to the site from Calama City in tanker trucks, or even San Pedro.
Subject, because it's the desert, so it's lack of water in all the desert, no? So
we does not use any single drop of water from the site. We bring it all, and actually after we use it, we have a treatment plant, and we treat the water and we reuse it. And actually, it's also important to mention that ALMA voluntarily submitted to an environmental impact study. Therefore, ALMA has maintained always have problem with this word, environmental consulting contract that guarantee periodic what's the word for this, inspections to the site. The idea is to check the state of the conservation of flora and fauna, since then until now. Regarding the cultural heritage, we can divide it into two parts, the past and the present. In the past, as you mentioned during the presentation, the Atacameño people have inhabited this land for almost 12,000 years, being very rich in customs and tradition. We have tried to protect their physical legacy, such as the estancias and the intangible heritage, by supporting programs to enhance the value of the culture. We will talk more about this during the conversation. In the present, we try to support our neighbors in different initiatives, ranging from economic, such as the ALMA region funds, and the educational with the ACBI. I will explain later what that means. Inclusion programs, cultural supporting, research and activities. So I think we have lots and lots of things to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. We're going into what you mentioned just recently, the links that ALMA has generated about the local funds. If you can tell us a little bit more about that, that is very interesting, and what area it covers and how it works.
Well, the development of our neighbors in the Atacama is also a priority for ALMA. This is why, even before the observatory construction, the partners who own this observatory signed an agreement with the Chilean government in which they committed themselves to develop the Antofagasta region. Thus, in 2004, the ALMA Second Region Fund was launched, a competitive fund to promote productive social and economic development in the local government of San Pedro de Atacama, in the municipality, in which communities apply with their development projects. The municipality of San Pedro de Atacama used part of this fund to finance high-impact social programs, such as the dental program and the school integration program. Both have a common scope. I mean, all the little villages. This fund has boosted many local initiatives, such as water channeling, community tourism projects, construction of community facilities and equipments, water heating for homes using solar panels, among many others. In 2021, ALMA contributed with almost $350,000 to this fund, allocating more than $5.5 million so far.
Wow. Well, about that, we actually have a video that is a brief video of these different initiatives that you just mentioned. So we're gonna watch it now. It's a short video for all the public.
Proyectos ALMA lo financió una sala de reposo, una sala de relajación, que el pasajero se siente ahí, respire, se relaje y que sienta este aire fresco que lo estamos sintiendo en este minuto y que descanse.
La idea fue hacer un mapa trabajado en comunidad. En ese mapa nosotros le podemos decir qué lugares pueden ir a conocer y también qué pueden encontrar en esos lugares.
Los fondos ALMA son un aporte que hemos recibido ya por casi 15 años. Están dirigidos y orientados principalmente a la atención odontológica en la comuna de San Pedro de Atacama.
En esta sala lo más esencial es que hay vida, hay jóvenes, hay señoras, viene la población. Por supuesto que nos mejora totalmente la vida en comunidad.
Antiguamente el medio de transporte era lomo de animales. Pero ahora ya todo cambió, pues. De hecho tenemos que usar vehículos. Entonces es muy importante el puente.
Es muy importante que ALMA tenga ese acercamiento, se preocupe, ¿cierto?, del bienestar de nuestra gente, del bienestar de todas las comunidades que conforman la comuna de San Pedro de Atacama.
para que el turista que pueda llegar pueda conocer realmente de lo que nosotros tenemos en conocimiento y traemos de nuestros antepasados, como cultura licanantay.
Danilo, those capsules are very, you can learn more about each one of these projects, no? So you were part of this filming process, no? Of these capsules. Tell us a little bit of that experience, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, actually, we have in our scope, in our plan, to run this filming, this shooting last year. We've been talking about this in 2019, but as everybody knows, in March last year, things change dramatically. So we have to postpone it and just wait until the situation allowed it. So we shoot these videos in January this year. It was beautiful, beautiful experience. We spent a week traveling around, visiting the different sites, talking with the people, organizing everything. And it was marvelous to learn, because also, during the pandemic state, we have to move following all the different safety standards and COVID standards. Everything was new for everybody. And that means the filming crew got reduced until its minimum. So all the hands needed. It was beautiful. It was
you were filming and recording everything too, no?
Yeah, I have to engage in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually I feel really thankful to these guys, because I learned a lot during those days. It was real fun.
Well, going more into the educational side that you also mentioned before for the community, if you can talk us through these projects that have been ongoing for a few years now, no?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if we want to put it in a more beautiful way, at ALMA, we would like some of the local students to think about working with us someday. That's why at the Tokonau School, we voluntarily decide to hire a consulting firm that for a decade and a half, as you mentioned, has been promoting the inquiry-based science education methodology, also known by its acronyms ACBI in Spanish, Educación con Base en la Indagación. This initiative has trained, selected, and financed teachers, built infrastructure, delivered didactic materials, and periodically monitors the program's implementation through specialized educational consulting. This work has helped to raise the scores of Tokonau students in nationally standardized tests, allowing their schools to be chosen as one of the 110 leader schools in Chile. In 2016. Moreover, thanks to its success, it has expanded to other communities, other local communities within the commune of San Pedro de Atacama. We should also mention that we support inclusive education through a program implemented at Tokonau School. We have hired a teacher specialized in visual impairment. She is available to the school teaching work team to support the blind students in their education. This work impacts the entire educational community by raising awareness among students, teachers, parents, and guardians, just developing an inclusive culture. So it's been pretty interesting.
Definitely. Well, I can recall two cases. Well, one is one of student that wants to study astronomy. Would you help me reminding his name? I don't remember now.
Simón Contreras.
Simón Contreras, yeah. So that's very special. And for the inclusive, I don't remember her name either, but you can help me. She's working with
the student?
Teacher.
Her name is Kiara.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah. Simone is actually The thing is, Tokona School has really, really good numbers. I mean, especially for the students that move forward from elementary, for this case, is high school to superior education, like technical or university degrees. But at first time, since we start with this program, it's more than 15 years today. One of their students, Simon, pursued education based exclusively in science. Actually, he's
Amazing.
thinking in astronomy, and he
Yeah.
entered in physics. He's doing the bachelor in physics. So this is the first year and the first student.
That's
So
so
we're
good.
super happy, and we hope, why not, in the future to have him around the science team in ALMA.
Yeah, maybe he's watching. We say hi and expect you soon working in ALMA with us. So I understand that for the cultural collaborations that ALMA has done, there's some results from that we know of the book. This the elders. If you can help me with the name, I don't remember now.
The universe of our elders.
That's exactly it. Sorry, I just forgot. So that and other of the research that was made with the SAIWAS. So if you can explain a little bit of these projects for our viewers.
Yeah, of course. Well, first, in a collaboration with the San Pedro de Atacama Museum, that, by the way, it's part of the Universidad Católica del Norte that's based in Antofagasta City, and local researchers, the observatory became involved in this project of preservation of the Atacameño cultural heritage and its cosmovision in an ethnoastronomical project entitled The Universe of Our Elders. Well, this book, the final book, still are not getting published. We hope it's going to be soon. But actually, they collect the vision of the elders in the little villages. It's going to be real beautiful.
Yeah, people
Also,
they can download it from our website. It's a brief of this book that will be published.
Yeah, it's a sort of trailer. It's explaining a little what mean this work and who were the people who run it, and we really hope to have it soon, like if we can have it in our hands. Also in 2017 and 2018, a multidisciplinary team composed of archaeologists, historians, documentarians from the Chilean Museum of Pre-Columbian Arts that's based in Santiago, supported by ALMA astronomers and an Atacameño researcher, ascertained the existence of astronomical structures in the Atacama Desert, bordering the Inca Trail. You know what is Inca Trail? I hope you do. But the thing is, these stone structures, called SAIWAS, that's what you mentioned before, make it possible to identify and predict equinoxes, solstices, and other astronomical events through the shadow they cast. They cast to the ground during sunrises. That is a SAIWA.
Perfect. Yeah, we had a video, so we can show a little bit of the images. People can know of this SAIWAS. The formation of rocks, no? So
yeah, it's the SAIWAS has different structures. Some of them, but mostly it's rock piles. Stones in piles.
It's not loading. Well, yeah, that's the other one. No, the SAIWAS one is the other one, so we can watch it later. And well, we cannot forget the collaboration that was made with the Astronomy Academy from the School of San Pedro Atacama, no? There is the SAIWAS. We can see the sun rising.
That's the one.
This pile of rocks, no?
Yes. Here, I can, but in the center of the image, in the background, you can see the sun rising, the volcanoes, and then there is a structure. It's quite square structure. So those structures cast these shadows on the ground, and the people pay attention to that. According to the changes on the position of the sun in the sky, During sunrise, the shadow cast shows different changes during the year, and they use that to actually build up their calendars.
Beautiful, yeah. Well, what I was saying earlier is that cannot forget the collaboration that has been ongoing for all these years with the Astronomy Academy from the school. If you can tell us a little bit of that and how it's been working.
Oh yeah. Well, unfortunately, over the last 2 years, due to the pandemic effect, we're trying to do things online. We hope next year we will get back on the face-to-face mode, because that's the best, especially in education. But in the past, we have long, really good experiences with different schools in the region. One of them, that is the San Pedro de Atacama High School. They used to have a astronomy academy. So one of the ALMA astronomers, I don't know, Giorgio Siringo perhaps is watching the transmission now. Hi, Giorgio.
Oh my God,
Yeah, support them in many ways, with the observations, with materials, with different works, and also to promote that the new generations do not lose their contact with their tradition. In that moment, we support a group of students and their teacher, of course. They're in the San Pedro High School, who made a video using the stop motion technique to tell the myth of La Yakana. It was an adorable, and I invite you to watch it now. It lasts about 3 minutes and a half. But before the video starts, let me tell you, La Yakana, or this myth, is part of what the people in the Atacama, they saw in the sky. It's part of their astronomy, how they watch and relate with the sky. So when the children's work and produce this video, it's just beautiful.
Let's go and watch it then.
My grandfather told me that in the past, constellations weren't formed by connecting the lines between stars, but rather by the black spots seen between them. These spots are created by the dust and gas that exist in the universe, which stops the light emitted by the stars from reaching us. When we look up at the sky, we can see the shape of a llama in one of these spots. Instead of eyes, it has two very bright stars. We call it Yakana because it has kamak, or the soul that gives life and strength to the llamas. Yakana travels by wading through a great river of stars. It gets darker and darker as it walks. To prevent the entire world from flooding, in the middle of the night, when nobody is watching, Yakana drinks all the water from the sea. The black llama will come down from the skies to drink water from any spring. If it falls on anyone, the person will find him or herself under an enormous pile of wool. If the person is successful in grabbing some of this wool, the kamak from the llamas will be transmitted to him or her. According to tradition, if the person does not have llamas, he or she should purchase a pair because the kamak from the yakana will make the herd grow quickly. The wool gathered in the night will look beautiful and full of colors the next day, all mixed together under the sunlight. The person who finds this can maintain his or her good fortune by worshipping it in the same spot where it was found. In ancient times, this happened to a lot of people in many places. But in present times, the llama herding tradition is slowly being lost. The Yakana observes from the sky and asks, "What will become of my flock when there are no llama herders left?" And it continues its march through the great river of stars that light up our sky every night.
It's so good. I love it. I
Yeah,
really
it's
love
real
it.
beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll go into more to the territory that Alma is in. No, can you tell us about what is being done archaeologically with the area? Like if it's found any remains or what's with that?
Well, actually, at Alma, we are protecting the rich natural treasure of the place that we occupy in this and its cultural heritage also. Within the observatory, there are several ruins. These are the remains of the so-called estancias. It's actually like a rancho. I don't know if it's possible to understand that. Inhabited by families who were mainly dedicated to herd llamas, goats, sheep, and donkeys. To feed their livestock, and according to the year season, they moving around their different settlements or estancias, looking for better pastures and water availability. During the 1970s, the water became scarce, which led to the gradual abandonment of the activity. In the territory concessionated to Alma, we will find about 20 of these estancias. To preserve the memory of these places, a few years ago, ALMA, in collaboration with a renowned archaeologist and neighbor of San Pedro de Atacama, Ana Maria Baron, began a program to reconstruction program and recovery. And of course, the idea is to enhance their history. The first step was to reconstruct the Barrios Ranch, with these former inhabitants, the Cruz brothers, took part in. This so-called site museum, it's only 6 kilometers up above the operation support facility. That is where the main offices of ALMA are located. And well, there we could find some corrals, rooms, a fox trap, and information that explain how was life like at that time. In 2019, the site known as the Casa de la Abuela, located just 150 meters away from the Alma Residencia, the hotel, and named after the Cruz brothers' grandmother, was reconstructed. The stances are considered protected sites, and we do not visit them to protect them, of course.
And this reconstruction is made with people that are from the community. So that's
Yeah,
amazing.
local people. The Ana Maria Baron, the archaeologist,
Yeah.
she actually led and gave the hints and how she looks and all the things and how it's the proper treatment for these remains. And the work is done with this ancient knowledge to handle rocks and cactus wood and other things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, for the future, what is coming for the different projects that you have for instance, in the educational program, for the cultural, the different areas? How is coming for these years with the local communities?
Well, in medium terms, we hope next year we could get back some of the regular life. I mean, before COVID. I don't know how it's going to look like, but we hope next year
We
things
don't know, yeah.
goes much better than the last 2 years. And the idea is continue our programs. The idea is to increase in the way we can. We will try to run more activities, like talks, public talks in the different town and villages, activities for the children's. We will try to construct different things in the schools.
Yeah.
Perhaps if everything goes good, perhaps we will be able to organize something more strong to live for the future within the schools.
Perfect. And is there any of what we just mentioned throughout the tour that I'm missing, maybe, of some of the projects that you've been working this last year that you want to mention?
Well, let me think. For far, we are missing the face-to-face activities that are perhaps the most reliable way to contact and communicate with the people, especially in this place, in this land. And as I mentioned in the beginning, in this moment, I'm in San Pedro de Atacama. the connection, the internet connection is not that good as it should be. But the thing is, for far, the missing part is being the face-to-face, like in many other activities.
Yeah, definitely. But in the case of projects, because I've heard you mention about the ALMA Makers or other instances where you're working with kids about that. So
Yeah,
that's something that we didn't mention. So
yeah, I didn't mention. The thing is, at ALMA Makers, it's a pretty interesting idea. It's an technological innovation program where children, they have to identify something we call the pain, a pain they have in their communities. I mean, there is a problem, they note it, identify it, and they're thinking how this problem could be solved. So during a process of different trainings, the children learn how to make the right questions. And close to the end, when they focus more than focus in the right way in the problem, and especially when they got the idea for the solution, they build a prototype for that solution. I mean, a technological solution. We choose the platform Arduino just because it's accessible, because it's easy, because it's cheap. You know, it's easy for children to work with the Arduino and programming Arduino. And the idea is that
what would be Arduino? I don't know what that is. Maybe there's some people watching that.
Arduino, it's not exactly technology. It's our control boards, you know, that allows you to program and control different peripherals devices like sensors, like actuators, like engines. So has a pretty intuitive and pretty easy programming language. It's pretty similar to C. I don't know if somebody in the audience knows something about programming, but it's similar to C. And actually that allows children to not just think in the software, they think in the machine and build a machine that is going to fix this problem. And then over the last 2 years, we've been working on this online. We include 4 schools in Toconao town, San Pedro town, and 2 in Calama City. And the children are already producing pretty interesting ideas and solutions. For example, one of them, they have a little greenhouse where they are trying to cultivate native plants. So these girls wants to create a robot that is capable to constantly reading the different variations in temperatures, humidity in the soil, and all those things. So it's going to apply like ventilation or heating or water to the different little plants according to the species needs. Some other project from other children, they got an idea to think in a sensor that is capable to recognize when somebody sits in the driving wheel in a car, if this person has a alcoholic breath. I mean, if he's being drinking or not. So they think and connect this sensor to the ignition of the car. So if the machine recognizes there is the driver smells as alcohol, will not give contact.
Wow.
So these kind of things. So next year we hope we can come back to the face-to-face activity, because we are being facing all this period of months, so all this period that is related to focus in the questions and focus in the solution. How they think and they imagine the solution. Now it's coming the practical part, the work with their hands. So that is one of the good things we will have next year.
Yeah, that's impressive. I love that. And what about the different coordinations that you've been doing with workshops for teachers, for students too? If you can tell us a little bit of that.
Yeah, we've been doing a number of different workshops. It's again all online. Maybe one of the most interesting, it's the one is running now. Actually, we'll finish next week with a workshop on basic astronomy. This is for the children in the San Pedro de Atacama High School. This school is actually a technical school. At the end of their secondary education, they end up with a degree, and this school has different careers like electricity, tourism, administration, and agriculture. Yeah, agriculture in the desert. The thing is, the kids in Chile, the education, it's pretty, the technical education in this level commands the children has to spend 1 week at the school and the other week in a company doing some sort of like internship. So at the end of their education, they will gather a number of hours of internship that helps them to later, has a better job and better skills.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the most damaged by the COVID over the last 2 years were the tourism career, because tourism gets totally stopped in San Pedro de Atacama. That, by the way, it's one of the most important economical activities in this region. So in order to help them to fulfill these internship hours, we are cooperating with this training in astronomy, because astrotourism, it's pretty strong here in the town. So those children will get several hours of this training in astronomy, and that helps them to finish their career.
Great. So let's see if we have any questions from the audience. Oh, let's see. Well, there. Why ALMA helped to the community around at the project?
Well, that is a pretty good question. But first of all, we are here, and we think we have to be aware that we are part of a larger ecosystem, not only financed by the taxes of the inhabitants of more than 20 countries, that are part of the partnership behind ALMA, but also that our Atacameño or Licanantay neighbors, they are key in providing the territory where the natural laboratory that allow us to fulfill our mission is located. So for us, it's really important them gets something in return, and that is the most important reason why we pursue this. Also, we want our neighbors, they feel proud to have ALMA around their houses.
Definitely, yeah. Let's see if we have any other question. I think we had one more.
By the way, there was one question.
Hi, will be a version in Spanish? Yes, at 4:30 Chilean time.
Yes.
Yeah, there was one question that is pending.
Yeah, the thing is, somebody was asking for the budget.
Is your budget is for local community collaboration? That's the question.
Yeah. First is important to remember. This is science. In science, budget is always a problem. We try to do our best with the money we have, but well, actually, there is a link. It's gonna be shared in the chat in a couple of seconds. That will explain the different things we have, and then you can take a good overview over that. But in general terms, ALMA it's bets for the long-term ideas, like the ALMA funds, the education, the ACBI program for education, that kind of thing that lasts for a long time. So in that link, you will find all the information necessary to answer your question, and well, for everybody else. And in that way, also, you will visit our website that is full of really cool information.
Definitely, and we have more of those videos that was shown in the beginning of each one of the areas. So each one of the communities that has been done different for dental program, we saw just a whole pack of the one was shown in the video, but these other ones are for individual one. Here we have another question. Juan Pablo. Hello, a question. ALMA has been affected by light pollution from industry or urban growth as it happens in Paraná? Here's.
Yeah, I answered it, or you answered?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, light pollution is not exactly a problem for ALMA because ALMA is a radio telescope. Actually, ALMA is capable to look at the sky even during daylight. Actually, within many different capabilities of this incredible machine, ALMA is capable to observe directly to the sun. Solar observations are being quite a headache for astronomers for over the last 400 years. And then ALMA would think also be able to do that. So the light pollution is not exactly a problem for this type of astronomy that is radio astronomy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we have one other question. Wilbur, do you have a program to be a sponsor for some foundation organization of science in Chile?
Well, actually, we sponsor another fund that is the ALMA CONICET, that is exclusive for PhDs and doctoral programs for Chilean students. And yeah, we are doing that.
Great. Well, Danilo, so I think we'll be closing this virtual tour today. It was very fun. I had a great time. Thank you for receiving the invitation and joining us. So we will be closing, and thank you very much. I don't know if you have any
much for
other
inviting
words.
me.
Yeah. Well, we have the next one at 4:30 for Spanish version, so keep in touch there with Danilo too. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.